Hi, this is Evan Turk, and I am answering questions about my book, The Storyteller, for the Texas Bluebonnet. I was inspired to write The Storyteller based on a book that I read when I was preparing and researching before going to Morocco on a trip. And it talked about this dying tradition of public storytelling in Morocco. These are storytellers who, for 1,000 years, have memorized hundreds and hundreds of stories and passed them down from generation to generation to tell to people in the public squares. So when I went to Morocco, I wanted to draw and learn and meet these storytellers. But what I found was there wasn't a single one who was still telling stories in public. I decided I wanted to write a story where these stories and this art form is passed on to the next generation. Stories are very important to me personally, just because I feel like they give you a window into the way that somebody else sees the world. And if you tell a story, it gives other people a window into how you see it. And so I think that stories have this great way of translating the world around us into a form that we can understand and absorb. And so stories become a way of making sense of the world around us. It's very different being an illustrator on someone else's text compared to being the author and illustrator of your own story. Because when you're both the author and the illustrator, everything comes from you. So to make the book a complete whole, you are coming up with the idea, you're trying to see how that idea is coming across in the words, and you're trying to change and build the story as one complete whole all by yourself. To me, this saying just shows how precious stories are, because in the case of the Moroccan storytellers, a lot of these stories that they knew and that they would tell were passed down through generations just by telling them. No one had ever written them down before. And so when these men would die without anyone to take on the job of telling these stories, the stories themselves would vanish forever. And so I think this saying to me just shows how important a story can be, because the story that you haven't told might be the story that inspires someone else to do something or helps someone else heal. And so I think it's really important to listen to stories and to tell stories so that they're never lost. The most important thing to do if you want to be an illustrator is to draw as much as you can, and draw everything that you can and whatever challenges you. And the second part of it is to look at as much art as you can, and to look at art that you love and art that you hate, and try and figure out why the artist made the decisions that he or she did while he was creating that. And that's going to help you come up with different tools and ways that you can solve problems when you're illustrating. And the same thing goes for being an author. It's all about writing as much as you can and reading as much as you can, and learning what you like and how you like stories to be told. And the other piece of advice that I can offer is just to follow your interests, because whatever you're interested in, illustration and writing are both great ways to learn more about it. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed The Storyteller.